Whenever someone talks about a coding interview, the first thing they ask you is about the data structures. So, what are data structures? Let's check it out.
Three, two, one.
Hey everyone, my name is Ram and welcome to Sprint Master. This is the first video of the Knowledge Tab series that I am starting on this channel, and many more will be coming your way. So, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that. It just takes one time to click on that red subscribe button right below this video. So, go ahead and do that. Okay, what is a data structure? Simply put, a data structure is a collection of data values with implied functions to perform various operations on these data values. At a first look, data structure might seem relatable to a Java class, but they are different. A data structure is a conceptual notation, while a class is specific to the programming language you pick. For example, consider a linked list. When you think of a linked list, the first thing that comes to your mind is the next pointers, and the way you navigate from one data element to the next one is using this next pointers. And the implied functions for this data structure are the insert, delete, and retrieve operations. While this data structure can be implemented with a class, the data structure itself has nothing to do with the class. It can be implemented in any manner you want. Now that we understand what a data structure is, let's look at one of the data structures, which is arrays. Arrays are the first and the basic data structures that you will encounter on your way to learn any programming language. So, what is an array? In simple words, array can be defined as a collection of same type of data, where each data item can be represented with a unique array index. Why do we need arrays? Let us consider you have an use case to store 5 integer values in your program. One way you can do that is by creating 5 variables and assign each of these integer value to the variable and store the values. The other way to do that is using an array. If you have just 5 values, maybe you can think of creating the 5 variables and assigning them. But what if you have 1,000 values? In such a case, arrays comes handy. How do we define an array? Well, that depends on the programming language you pick. In Java, we do that as follows. Type variable name is equal to new type of array size. If you want an integer array, your definition will be int myArray is equal to new int of 5. If you want a character array, then the definition will be char myArray is equal to new char of 5. It doesn't have to be the primitive data type. It can be any kind of class, Java class you pick up. So if, for example, you are considering the example of strings, then it will be represented as string myArray is equal to new string of 5. So what happens when you define an array? A continuous block of memory is allocated for this array in your system's memory. So let us consider this example. You are defining an integer array, something like this. Int myArray is equal to new int of 5. Then a continuous block of 5 into 4, which is equal to 20 bytes of memory, is allocated for this array, since each of the integer has got 4 bytes of memory in Java. And each of these 4 bytes of memory is represented by an array index. So the index of the array always starts with 0 and ends with array size minus 1. And in this case, since your array size is 5, the array index starts with 0 and ends with 4. For any data structure, there are 4 important operations that you need to consider while programming. The first is insertion, deletion, retrieving, and searching. So let us look at all these 4 operations for arrays. Inserting the data. To insert data in an array, you can do that by referring to the array index position. For example, consider this example. You have an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is represented with the variable myArray, and your array size is 5. And you want to replace this fourth position of this array with the element 7. So now what you do is you write myArray of 3 is equal to 7. Remember, the array index always starts from 0, so the fourth position is represented with array index position of 3. The time complexity of insertion on the data structure is O of 1 because we can insert a value at any position in the array as long as we know what position we want to insert that in. Retrieving the data. To retrieve the data from the array, you can do that by using the array index again. So if you want to know what is the third element of your array, then you represent it with my array of 2. That gives you the third element which you are interested in. The time complexity of this operation is O of 1 as well because as long as you know what position you are interested in, you can retrieve it at any time. The next operation is searching the data. So if you want to search an element in an array, you have to check each and every element of the array. For example, consider the same example as before. So in this array, if you want to search the element 5, you have to navigate from the array index 0 until 4 to find that element 5. You have to check with each and every element of this array and finally figure out what is the position of this element 5 in this array. The time complexity of this approach will be O of n, because you have to visit each and every array index position to check if this is the value you are looking for or not. And finally, deleting an element from the array. If you want to delete an particular element from the array, you cannot really delete the memory allocated for that position in the array. All you can do is you can replace it with a default value. For example, if your array is of type integer, you can replace it with some 0. If your array is of type string, then you can replace it with null. That is the best you can do for deletion in the arrays. Either you have to destroy the array completely or you have to assign it with some default values. The time complexity of deletion on the arrays is O of 1, because it is just updating the value with some other default value rather than deleting the entire array. In the previous example we have considered, if you want to delete the position of 2, you replace that position of 2 with 0. In this case, my array of 1 is equal to 0. Let's see the pros and cons of the arrays. So the pros are as follows. Arrays are easy to define and initialize. If your application is pretty small and all you want to do is you want to store some set of data elements into variable, then you can definitely define and initialize arrays with these values so easily. The second advantage of arrays is the insertion, retrieve, and delete operations takes off one time. So if your application is not really doing any searching after putting some data into this array, then you can definitely use arrays, because all of the rest of the operations like insertion, delete, and retrieving just takes off one time, which is a constant time. And here are the cons of array. So the first and the major disadvantage with arrays is the array size is predefined and fixed. So if you want to add more elements to the array, then it takes the entire copying of this particular array into a different data set and then adding more elements to that. So in real world, it is really a cumbersome problem. The second disadvantage with arrays is the searching takes O of n time. So if your application is specific about finding a particular element in this array, then it will take O of n time to find a particular element. Of course, you can do some kind of optimization using binary search, but that works only if the array is sorted. Knowing the pros and cons of data structure is extremely important when you are studying about a data structure, because they determine whether the choice of your data structure is right or wrong for a particular coding question. As I have said previously, if your application is looking only for the operations of insert, delete, and retrieve operations, then arrays might be a good choice because it is just of one time to perform these operations. But if your application is specific about the searching, then arrays might not be a good option for you because they take of n time. The choice of data structures is extremely important when it comes to solving a coding question. So make sure you do this step right. Now that we have learned about the data structures of arrays, in our next session of the Knowledge Tab series, we'll be talking about the stacks and queues. So stay tuned for that video. And in the meantime, here is a problem for you to solve based on the arrays. So your question is, find the number of occurrences or simply the frequency of a number in an array. Let us try to understand this question. For example, you are given with an array of 1, 1, 3, 2, 7, 1. So if you are asked to find the frequency of the number 1 in this array, the answer is 3. So now you need to write a program which takes the input of the array and the search number, and the output of this function will be the frequency of that particular search number. Try solving it, and we shall discuss the solution of this problem in the next session. I hope you liked today's session, and if you do, please click the like button below and share this video with your friends. And make sure you subscribe to Sprint Master channel. If you have any questions on this video, or if you have any questions in particular related to the coding, mention them in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching this video. This is Ram signing off.